Hello, happy holidays and Merry Christmas. This is Charlotte's Cooking Show. I'm Charlotte. Today we're making Martha Stewart's macaroni and cheese, or as my husband Trevor affectionately calls it, the $50 macaroni and cheese. But don't worry, it's worth every penny. It's definitely not low fat though. But stick around, I'm going to show you how to make it. The key to success with this recipe is in the prep work. If you can have all your shredding, cutting, chopping done ahead of time, then you will really enjoy putting this recipe together. I've got some water boiling here. I'm going to add 2 large tablespoons of kosher salt. That will make sure that the pasta is seasoned properly and will taste delicious in the macaroni and cheese. This is a big family-friendly meal, so I've got 1 pound of dry macaroni pasta, and I'm going to add this to our boiling salted water. There's always a great debate with macaroni and cheese, toppings or no toppings. I'm not sure what's right, but I know that this tastes delicious. I've got these 2 melted tablespoons of butter. I'm going to pour it over the bread, and then that's going to go on top of the macaroni and cheese just before we put it in the oven. It makes it crunchy and delicious, and when you bite in, you won't be disappointed. So here we go. Delicious. Salted butter, melted on top, and then get your hands in there and work it. Work it around, share it with all the other pieces, and then it'll be ready to go on top. Okay, now I'm gonna give my hands a quick wash, and then we're gonna get started on the flour mixture. We've got 1/2 cup of flour, and to that, I will add 2 tablespoons of kosher salt. So that's it right here. 1, 2, 1 tablespoon of fresh ground black pepper. There you go. 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg. This is where we get that nice sweet flavor. And then 1/8 teaspoon of cayenne pepper, and that's where we get the heat. I'm gonna take this, mix this up with my teaspoon, and then I'm going to take it over to the cooktop and I'm going to add it in, whisk it in with 6 tablespoons of melted butter. Okay, it's time to get started on the cheese sauce. I've got 6 tablespoons of melted butter here on the cooktop. I've got my flour mixture and my whisk. I'm going to add this in, whisk for a minute, and then I'll add my milk and all of our great cheese. It's gonna be delicious. Our roux has been cooking for about a minute. Now it's time to add our 5½ cups of whole milk. Earlier I said that this was definitely not a low-fat meal. Here are the reasons why. 4½ cups of aged white cheddar, 2½ cups of Gruyere cheese. They're all going in to make this most delicious cheese sauce. With all these delicious ingredients, there's no doubt that this cheese sauce is going to be so good. As you're whisking, you're gonna do so for about 5 minutes to make sure it doesn't burn, and you want it to be nice and smooth. You want that velvety look. At the end, you wanna take your spoon, run it along the bottom of your pan, and if the cheese separates and then slowly comes back together, you've got the perfect consistency. Now that our cheese sauce is all done, I'm gonna pour it into this great big mixing bowl. I like to use these big mixing bowls because then I can add the cooked pasta to the sauce. And that way I'm guaranteed that I don't end up with a dry macaroni and cheese. You want to put the meal in the oven and you want it to bake and be bubbly and soak in even that much more of the cheese sauce. So there we go. Doesn't that look so good? Now it's time to add our cooked pasta to our cheese sauce. I'll mix this up and then I'll put it in a big casserole dish. We'll bake it in the oven at 375 for 30 minutes. Look at how creamy and delicious that is. We're just gonna pour that right into the dish. It looks like a lot, but once you pour it in, you know that it's just right. These big bowls are hard to work with sometimes. But this is the extra creaminess that I'm talking about. We need that extra cheese sauce as it bakes it allows the noodles to cook even that much more, and then it'll soak into the cheese and the bread. We have our macaroni and cheese ready to go in our casserole dish. We're gonna finish adding all of this delicious Gruyere cheese and aged cheddar. Really, really load this up. Sprinkle that along the top. Mix it in. Remember the part about the, definitely not low fat? Here we are again. Sprinkling it all over. I'll add more, but then we'll add our breadcrumbs and this will be ready for the oven. Here's Martha Stewart's baked macaroni and cheese, right out of the oven, still bubbling hot. I can't wait to dig in. This is a really great dish for you to make over the Christmas holidays. Everybody loves macaroni and cheese, and it will be a welcome addition at anybody's party. So let's dig in and have some. Look at that. You want to get a little bit of the cheesy goodness. You want to get a little bit of the breadcrumbs on top, or those nice croutons, and then have a bite. So good. Martha Stewart's baked macaroni and cheese. You should make it.